Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, I think I'm pronouncing that right, is a winger who has burst onto the scene this season, both in Italy and on the European stage. He is a fast-paced, dynamic, tricky winger, and he's attracting the attention of most European clubs. Now, he currently plays for Napoli, who are 9 points clear on top of the Serie A and absolutely booming at domestic level and look like underdogs for the Champions League potentially too. Kvaratskhelia has been at the core of their attack this season. Him and Osimhen absolutely tearing up defences, and it is with no real surprise that City are allegedly showing interest in this player. Now, the tweet goes from Ekrem Konur. As always, you guys can make your minds up as to how reliable every source I speak about is. I just see the news and I like to talk about it, and I like to dream. What could City potentially have in their squad in the next 12 to 24 months? Who knows? Tweet says, Manchester City could make an offer for Napoli's 21-year-old Georgian player Khvicha Kvaratskhelia in the summer transfer window. Now, he's 21 years of age. I believe he only joined Napoli last summer on a fairly lengthy contract too. So it would make it pretty difficult, especially dealing with De Laurentiis at Napoli. We have history dealing with De Laurentiis at Napoli, don't we? If you guys throw it back a couple of years, remember we tried to sign Jorginho before he went to Chelsea, and Napoli said, no, we're not dealing with Manchester City anymore. We don't want our players going to Manchester City anymore. We also tried to sign Koulibaly when he was at Napoli, didn't we? And, you know, private planes, apparently, plane watch was on, but it never happened. De Laurentiis does not like dealing with Manchester City, and Manchester City do not like dealing with De Laurentiis. But is this a player worth pursuing? He currently has 9 goals and 12 assists in all competitions. I'm sure some of you will fondly remember him absolutely taking the piss out of Liverpool in the group stages of this season's Champions League campaign. He absolutely made a fool out of Fabinho and Liverpool's defence when they absolutely trashed them. I believe that one was in Naples too. So is he worth us going in for? With him only signing for Napoli last summer, I'm not exactly sure how long is on his contract, but I would imagine De Laurentiis is savvy enough to put Khvicha Kvaratskhelia on a lengthy enough contract. So if we were to go in for him next summer and his numbers continue to grow this season, which I would imagine they have, and imagine they will continue to do so, you would think the price tag will be pretty heavy on his head. Also, if Napoli do go on to win the Serie A and make a pretty good stab at Champions League, which I believe they will, I'm not sure either who they have in the next round of the Champions League, but with their recent performances and their consistent performances this season, you'd imagine they'll give whoever they're playing a pretty good run for their money. Kvaratskelia's price tag will increase even further. Now, are City likely to go in for Kvaratskhelia? I think with his profile growing all the time, it's only natural that the big clubs, the big dogs like Manchester City do go in for this player. So I think, yes, there will be interest. I think I've spoken about it in recent weeks on streams and on videos, and just the other day I did a Sterling video, our need for a pacey winger. If there's one thing Kvaratskhelia does have alongside a finishing ability from outside and inside the box, tricky feet, the fucker has pace. He has no problem taking on the inside. He has no problem taking on the outside. Now, our wingers taking on the outside is not something we're used to seeing in recent months, is it? You see Jack Grealish, God bless him, I love him, Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez, even Cole Palmer. I don't know, is it through instruction from Pep Guardiola, or is it through the fact that they don't want to take on the outside? They insist on inverting and taking on and cutting in on the inside. Kvaratskhelia would offer us a different dynamic entirely. I watched some highlights on a compilation, and as you know, compilations and highlight reels always make the player possibly look better than they are. But from what I saw, this player's got it all. He has it all. Like I said, he's got a tricky right foot. He can shoot from outside the box, and he has no problem cutting in, going on the outside, taking on a player. He's got tricks. He's got tricks in his locker, people. Nutmeg, step overs, the whole lot. He looks to me like a complete winger, which is why you can see top clubs going in for him. Now, are we likely to spend the money De Laurentiis would want? I would imagine should we go in for this player, he would want a premium, a Manchester City premium from us. Knowing the money that we have and that we have spent, particularly on Jack Grealish, a winger in recent years, he'd probably be saying, right, if you want this guy, he only joined us last summer, give us 120, 130 million for a 21-year-old. Pretty outrageous numbers. Are we likely to do that? I'm not so sure. I would like you guys to get down below in the comments and let me know your thoughts on this. But I would like him. Is it a dream signing? I think so. But the flaws in the squad of Manchester City do not just lie on the wings. I think the wings is probably the least of our problems. It's definitely a problem. a lack of a pacey winger who's willing to go on the outside and take on the fullback and be, aggressive. He's really aggressive, Kvaratskhelia. We definitely need a left back. I think a defensively competent left back, and we definitely need at least one, if not two more defensive midfielders. I know Jude Bellingham is massively on the radar of Pep and the club, so he will cost a big amount of money. Are Manchester City going to go out next summer and spend big cash, getting big names? Bellingham, Kvaratskhelia, we've been linked with Leao. Leao was another player who has similar attributes to Kvaratskhelia. Is he worth going for? Let me know your thoughts down below on Leao too. I think it's an interesting conversation with Kvaratskhelia, and I think if he continues to develop the way he is, the price tag's only going to grow. The amount of clubs going in for him is only going to grow. You can see plenty of clubs around Europe who have ambitions of attaining the most sought after silverware in their domestic campaigns and as well as in the European stage. This guy will be pretty high up their lists, and it is refreshing when you see a player come from a country like Georgia, burst onto the scene within 6 months. But could it be a bad thing for him if he makes a move to a club like City or a Real Madrid or, I don't know, a United or a Chelsea too soon? I know Todd Bowley seems to have no issue with going out and spending crazy money. In fact, if there's anybody I would put my money on going out and splashing the cash on this guy, it's probably Todd Bowley, even though they already have about 400 wingers to work with anyway. I think he's worth considering. But you do have to keep in mind the barriers that we'd have to get over that I mentioned in dealing with De Laurentiis, dealing with Napoli, and the money that we'd have to pay for him. Aside from dealing with Napoli, the money that it would, require to acquire this player, and his wages, I would imagine, would be pretty high considering the amount of offers he will have. Let me know your thoughts down below on Kvaratskhelia. It was just a quick piece of news, and it caught my eye because I've seen this guy play in the Champions League this season. I've been keeping a slight eye on Serie A too because it seems to be a really interesting league. Juve falling off, AC Milan and Inter Milan, and then Napoli, flying high right now too. It's refreshing to see what's going on over there. So let me know your thoughts on Khvicha Kvaratskhelia down below in the comments. I want to see what you guys have to say, and should City go in for him? If you would also, before you click off, hit a quick like on the video. It really does massively help the channel. The support recently has been ace. Absolutely fantastic from all of you lot. We're about 85 subscribers at the time of recording, away from 5,000 subs. So if you're not done so already, do subscribe to the channel. We would massively appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Good night and God bless.
Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to